more zombies to kill, more puzzles, which, yeah, I agree, like anybody else, this one with the chess pieces is probably one of the worst puzzles in this entire game. The hints don't give it a good enough description, and the online walkthroughs didn't make it much better neither. I mean, what the Capcom? Are you serious? I mean, what were they thinking? Eventually I did figure it out after a ton load of trial and error. But, man, what were they thinking? So you make your way into the room and you come across yet another boss fight, and this one is probably my most favorite in this game because of its creativity. Yeah, you lure him into the right spot, then time it right, activate the crane, and knock him off with that big crate thing. Just gotta make sure you don't knock yourself off because, well, that obviously won't end well. But yeah, you lure him into that spot while doing damage to him before he massively drains you of your health. Then finish him with a crane and crate, sending him falling to his doom. So now that that's all taken care of, it's time to reunite with Ada, who, despite being severely injured from the fall, has access to the cable car, which brings you all the way down to the next part of the game, the lab section. Yeah, this is where the game gets even more interesting. As you'd expect, like before, lots of different areas to exhaust and explore, lots of different stuff to collect, even new materials that definitely are required to getting through this part of the game, like a few upgrades for your ID wristband, a dispersal cartridge which you have to empty out in the machine, and then collect it. Yeah, of course this game has its share of puzzles, but it also has to shove in some botany and sciencey jargon in as well, which makes sense considering you're inside of a greenhouse. And, well, how appropriate, say hello to the new set of zombies called Ivies. Best to just burn these suckers. But, yeah, this is where you're trying to get down to business, science-wise, and stop the T-virus once and for all. So, you take that empty dispersal cartridge over to the drug testing lab, have to fill it up with this liquid, by solving this puzzle, of course, not too hard to figure out. But before you do that, I should have also mentioned you have to unlock the thing by putting in these weird looking codes on the computer system because it's locked up behind a set of metal bars. And the codes you can find in a certain location hidden, or just look them up online like mostly everybody does probably. There's also something else important you have to collect, which you find downstairs after fighting through a whole horde of zombies, a few liquor ones, and most of the basic ones that you're familiar with. Yeah, you better be careful because they can gang up on you pretty fast. I recommend saving your grenades and flamethrower for these suckers because there's a lot of them here. And after they're taken care of, collect the signal modulator as I mentioned before. The way it works shouldn't be too hard to figure out. You just have to match the waves and everything like that, you know, because it's an electronic device. Almost reminds me of hacking the towers and opening up different parts of the map of New York City in the Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4. Yeah, not too hard to figure out. So, after all that, finally get the cartridge filled up, you bring it back, and put it in the same computer system that gave it to you, and what the hell? Oh yeah, I also forgot, you have to cool the thing down. That's right. How do you cool it down? You bring it to the low temp testing lab, and you put it in this machine, and voila, it's cooled down and ready to go. Finally access this device, destroying the virus, which is in the form of Plant 43, yeah, that's what it's called. So now that that's done, make your way out of here, and once again avoid this goddamn T-00. Ah, he just won't off. But yeah, just avoid him, make your way to the main shaft, which brings you to the Nest Laboratory, the final part of the game, where you take the final stand once and for all against the T-virus. You can watch another video cassette on the VCR if you want to. But most importantly, you have to use the signal modulator to turn on the OSS to power up the room. And, well, that's the last you really need of that device, because after that, you don't really need it. So, time to make your way into the bioreactor lab. Grab the G-virus sample. Yeah, apparently that's what it's called. And be sure to grab as many weapons, guns, grenades, as much as possible. There'll also be plenty in this room to pick up, but just make sure you have plenty on you for the boss fight. Yep. This one is nothing out of the ordinary. Just gotta make sure to avoid getting slashed because trust me, this sucker can really drain your health quite a lot. So yeah, aside from trying to slash you, he also does pick up explosive pieces of machinery and tries to throw them at you. So your basic mission objective is to, well, shoot his eyes. Yeah, this one has several of them. Don't think I have to say it. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But yeah, just keep shooting those eyes. As soon as he's defeated, return to Ada, where she helps you escape through the elevator. But unfortunately, it doesn't end very well for her, in a rather tragic way, leaving you on your own, which means it's time to take the elevator down to the monitor room, get the hell out of this place before the timer runs out and it comes crumbling down. And as you make your way out, more zombies to kill, you know, the basic ones and the Ivy ones, and this son of a bitch still following you. So just avoid him and collect the joint plug and put him in the power panel. Pull the lever, which powers up the escape shaft to finish this once and for all. Against the final boss, Super Tyrant. Yeah, I should mention that's what this T-00 is also known as. But now he's become powerful as I'm dead serious. Like, seriously. As if he wasn't powerful enough earlier on in the game, he's even more powerful? I mean, come on. Though, there is actually a way you can defeat him, finally. Well, after simply running around and avoiding his deadly moves, trying not to get yourself killed, you get the anti-tank rocket. Hell yeah. Fire that bad boy off into the tyrant's face. Hasta la vista, baby. So, once the escape shaft finally reaches the bottom, comes to a stop, you still have several more zombies that pile up at the door that you still have to take out by either shooting, blowing them up with a grenade if you still have any. And then, your zombie slaying adventure is finally over. And that, my friends, is Resident Evil 2 Remastered on PlayStation 4. Not much to say there. It's gruesome, there's plenty of challenge, problem solving. It takes something, as I said, as simple as a police station and makes it into something even larger. It takes a really great sequel to a zombie slaying adventure with great characters, great story, terrific voice acting, graphics that may seem a little dark at some points, but hey, that's to build up some superb and gloomy atmosphere that's perfectly fitting for this kind of narrative. So, are there any real flaws to this game? Well, aside from the difficulty and some of the frustrating aspects with some of the puzzles that I've shown before, well, it is kind of annoying with the map thing having to constantly whip it out by pressing the gamepad button on the PS4 controller. Yeah, I mentioned this with several other games. Why doesn't it just have a small little map thing like Grand Theft Auto? I mean, you think that would have been a bad thing to add in there considering this is a remastering? But other than that, this is a great remake of a great Resident Evil game that any fan of this franchise should definitely buy. So, that pretty much sums it up right there for this game. There isn't much more to say that hasn't been said about it. It's a necessary and fantastic remake of an already great game that improves over its counterpart. Like I said, it's a necessary remake. And even though, of course, I mentioned that there is a remake of the first and Resident Evil 0, especially on Nintendo Switch, well, I would buy those games, but I haven't mentioned that they pretty much play like the original counterparts do with the fixed camera positions, and I'm hoping they get a remake like this one did. And I'm especially hoping for a remake of the third game as well on a newer console with better graphics. But overall, I can say this is a great, fantastic remake, and, well, if this is the future for Capcom, the future's looking bright, and it's well deserving of a Rockin' Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus up and a playing remote. Trust me, it's a horrifyingly good fun time. So, until next time, I'm in the middle of a review right now. What do you want? Go away, whoever you are. Not interested. What the hell? Stop banging on the door! Holy shit! Oh, shit. shit, that's right. These things don't do shit against those. Ah. Oh yeah? Come get some. That's right. Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, that'll teach him to screw up this review. But anyway, till next time, we'll continue this Halloween Horror Fest with, well, usual stuff that I do every year. Till next time, happy gaming and happy Halloween. We'll be back for another video of this Halloween Horror Fest marathon. Thanks for watching.